Good evening, great souls. Welcome to our evening commemoration of Lahiri Mahasaya. And for those of you who were watching the timer, sorry about the being a little off on that, but didn't miss the start moment there by a few seconds. So anyway,
Technical difficulties.
technical challenges. Anyway, welcome, and let us begin now with a prayer together. Please pray either out loud or silently in your heart. Divine Mother, Heavenly Father, beloved friend God, great masters of self-realization, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, beloved Lahiri Mahasaya, Swami Sri Yukteswarji, our Guru, Paramhansa Yoganandaji, all saints and sages of all religions, with love and devotion we bow at thy feet. Divine Lahiri, infuse this evening, this satsang with your presence, your guidance, and your grace. Flow through our lives that we may learn perfect balance between outward activity and inward realization of your infinite presence. Guide, inspire, and bless us always as your instruments in this world. Om, peace, Amen. This evening we will share a number of chants and as well as some readings from the life of Lahiri Mahasaya, including some quotations from some of his letters, which I think you'll find quite interesting and fascinating. And as we chant, there'll be little pauses between the chants. We'll have some short meditations. Try to interiorize the energy of each chant during those pauses. And of course, during the meditation, this being an evening where we honor Lahiri Mahasaya, who brought us Kriya. I mean, obviously through the instrumentality of Sri Yukteswar and Yogananda, and for most of us, Swami Kriyananda. But nevertheless, the origin of it was Babaji giving it to Lahiri Mahasaya, who then shared it from his own living room in Varanasi in Benares. So during that little meditation, if you're a Kriyaban, practice Kriya. If you're not a Kriyaban, practice some kind of pranayam, some kind of breathing exercise or energy control exercise. But inculcate this evening, this satsang, with the joy and the power of Lahiri's example, of his presence, of his blessing in this world. Master called him a Yogavatar, an avatar of yoga, an avatar of perfect balance, perfect union of inner and outer. And so we'll talk about that some later on in the readings that we share. We'll touch on that as well. But we'll begin now with a chant, Door of My Heart, open wide I keep for thee. This is from the Bengali, and Master brought it to us and translated it into English. we'll sing Sri Guru Deva Om, honoring Lahiri particularly as this central channel for Kriya to all of us. So Nirmala will share a reading now.
So it's a divine blessing to have these gurus with us. And I speak in the present tense because they are still with us, because they are beyond time and space. And so the blessing of having these gurus is that they are continually helping us. It's always interesting and fun for me to discover new things, to read other writings from Lahiri Mahasaya or any of our gurus to find out more about their divine lives. So tonight I just want to share a few things that I have learned about Lahiri Mahasaya's life. He was born to a very saintly couple, and his mother, Muktakeshi, had many visions while she was pregnant with Lahiri Mahasaya. She had visions of Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, Divine Mother Kali. So she was incredibly high-minded and had this beautiful experience of carrying this holy child. I want to read just a little bit about his birth. So when Lahiri was born, he was Shamacharan, which means a manifestation of the power of the Divine Mother. I just learned that. And his birth was a cause for joy and celebration in the village where he was born. His father, Gurmohan, treated everyone to sweets, and for the well-being of the new arrival, he implored everyone's blessings. It was a moment of great joy in their lives. Gurmohan was a virtuous, devout, and religious person. He used to engage himself performing puja, reading the Shastras, and discussing religion. He was also an earnest devotee of yoga sadhana, the practice of yoga. He had sincere regard for all gods and goddesses. Muktakeshi Devi, Lahiri's mother, too used to daily worship the household deity, Shiva, with sincere devotion. Before worshiping Shiva, she would not even accept breakfast. Whenever any beggar arrived, she would part with whatever she had. Muktakeshi Devi was extremely compassionate, charitable, and good-natured. Therefore, she commanded respect from all the neighboring women. A divine child is born only to such parents. And this, I may have shared this on other occasions, but it's such a wonderful story. The dear child of Muktakeshi Devi grew up, and he was affectionately named Shamacharan by everyone. In those days, there was a general practice of naming children after gods and goddesses. It would serve the purpose of calling the children as well as remembering God every time someone said their names. Sometimes Muktakeshi Devi would take the child to the Shiva temple, place him beside her, and worship Shiva with rapt attention. The child was also keeping his eyes closed and was seated like Shiva in the lotus posture. His mother would sometimes accomplish her tasks by taking the child to sit on the sandy banks of the river with her. The child would smear sand all over his body and, assuming the posture of Shiva, sit with eyes closed. And he was just a toddler at this time when he did this. Childish impudence was rarely found in this divine child. Instead, he could be seen wandering in the realm of thoughts stoically, as though he wanted to establish a union with the infinite. By observing this attitude and behavior, many guessed that he was not an ordinary child. Shiva was the household deity of the Lahiri family. The temple of the deity was adjacent to the house. One day, Muktakeshi Devi was absorbed in deep meditation of Shiva, with a child seated beside her. The child also was sitting with closed eyes, emulating his mother. Suddenly, a handsome, large-built sannyasin appeared before the temple and addressed Muktakeshi Devi as mother. She became unnerved and lifted the child onto her lap. The sannyasin said, "Mother, don't be afraid. I am a sannyasin. There's nothing to be afraid of." Still, Muktakeshi Devi stood in fear with the child. And the sannyasin stated, as you can see, this was undoubtedly Babaji, "That son of yours is not an ordinary human child. It is I who have sent him to this earth to show the esoteric path of sadhana to countless people who are distressed with worries and woes of family life. This child himself will maintain a family existence and attract others to practice the yoga path. Mother, you have nothing to fear. I shall constantly keep watch upon him like a shadow." After this, the sannyasin departed with gentle steps. And no doubt he also must have said to Muktakeshi Devi that her time on this earth was not very much longer. She passed away when Lahiri was only 5 years old. But no doubt she kept in her heart this promise of the beautiful sannyasin that she had seen, who promised to take care of Lahiri and to follow him like a shadow. So I can tell a little more about his early life if you like, or do you want to go on?
Sure.
Well, as I say, he lost his mother at the age of 5. An interesting aside to this was that there was a flood that inundated the whole area, took away the Lahiri ancestral home and the Shiva temple, which was attached to it, washed it all away, including the linga, the sacred Shiva idol in the temple. And it was nowhere to be found. And then a relative, we don't know who exactly, but a relative had a dream of where the linga was in the waters. And they went out there, and in that spot they were able to recover the linga and place it in a future temple in their home. So after Muktakeshi's passing, which was sometime around the same time, the father, Guru Mohan, moved his family to Kashi and enrolled his son soon after he had turned 5 into an English school. And most Orthodox families in that time didn't really believe in teaching their children English. It was a language of the untouchables. They didn't, because the English people were untouchables, and so they didn't teach their children English. But Lahiri's father was very forward thinking, and he probably also saw, since the family was not very well off financially after this loss, this great loss, that English was a way to give his son an opportunity to get a good job. And so he enrolled him in an English-speaking school, and later in an English medium school, and later in an English college. And Lahiri was very well educated. He spoke, in addition to English, Bengali, Hindi, Urdu, and Persian. And this allowed him later in life, when he was trying to support his family on an army salary, which was not very much, it helped him to tutor other people and helped him to support his family more easily. He married at the age of 18 while still a college student, and at age 23 he was appointed to the military engineering works, and that was what helped him to meet his beloved Gurudeva in Raniket. He was posted there. Would you like me to stop there? Okay, we'll pause for the moment in our story and have a little more chanting.
So this next chant is: no birth, no death, no caste have I. Father, mother have I none. I am He, I am He. Blessed Spirit, I am He. And this is a chant apparently was a favorite of Lahiri Mahasaya, which I did not know until perhaps just tonight itself. Or at least it never penetrated until just now. So anyway, let me just shift our volumes here a little bit. Death nor caste have I, no birth, no death nor caste have I. Father, mother have I known, Father, mother have I known. I am He, I am He, Blessed Spirit, I am He. I am He, I am He, Blessed Spirit, I am He. Mind nor intellect ego feeling, mind nor intellect nor ego feeling, sky nor earth nor metals and light, sky nor earth nor metals and light. I am He, I am He, Blessed Spirit, I am He. I am He, I am He, Blessed Spirit, I am He. Beyond all fancy, formless and mind, beyond all fancy, formless and mind, free from dreams of all earthly life, free from dreams of all earthly life. I am He, I am He, Blessed Spirit, I am He. I am He, I am He, Blessed Spirit, I am He. Bondage I fear not, I'm free in Thy joy. Bondage I fear not, I'm free in Thy joy. Free, oh free in Thy bliss. Free, oh free in Thy bliss. Blessed Spirit, I am He, I am He, I am He. Blessed Spirit, I am He, I am He, I am He. Blessed Spirit, I am He. Bondage I fear not, I'm free in my joy. Free in my joy, free from dreams of all earthly life. Free from dreams of all earthly life. I am He, I am He, blessed Spirit, I am He. I am He, I am He, blessed Spirit, I am He. Oh, I am He, I am He, blessed Spirit, I am He. I am He, I am He, blessed Spirit, I am He. I'll just say a few words by way of introducing the next chant. You don't have to change it, that's all right. Lahiri has always given his position as a householder in society, which was very unusual for anyone involved in anything seriously spiritual, significantly spiritual. That was kind of an unheard of concept, which is one of the reasons that God gave him that job to do, was to demonstrate for people, you can do this. Anyway, I've always loved the next chant because it's basically saying the same thing in the chant. Every morning when I greet the sun, when I move forth through crowded ways, in my heart, Lord, ever so silently, I will always think of Thee. And then it goes on, and there's 3 other verses, but let's chant this together now, also in honor of Lahiri, because his presence in this world is a living demonstration for us that yes, we can balance all the commotion of life, all the challenges, all the duties that we have to stay present and current with, and yet we can still be intimately engaged with God's presence.
You turn off both microphones.
Every morning, every morning when I greet the sun, when I move forth through crowded ways, in my heart, Lord, ever so silently, I will always think of Thee. In my heart, Lord, ever so silently, I will always think of Thee. When I laugh, oh, and when I cry with pain, when my best friends misunderstand, in my heart, Lord, ever so silently, I will always think of Thee. In my heart, Lord, ever so silently, I will always think of Thee. Dear God, my God, I am thine for eternity. Dear God, my God, I am thine eternally. Though my path lead me over deserts and sing one more chant and then have a short meditation. And this is one of the Shiva chants in honor of Shiva being the family deity of the Ishta Devata of the Lahiri family. So let me just change the angle of this thing slightly. So let's...
This is the Shiva chant that's in the Raja Yoga book. Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Om Namah Shivaya,
Namah Shivaya, Om 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 Namah Shivaya.
Let's meditate for a few minutes. Those who are Kriya bonds practice a few Kriyas now. honoring Lahiri and calling on his blessings.
My microphone on.
Yeah.
So I'll tell a little bit more about the meeting of Babaji and Lahiri Mahasaya. We know the story from Autobiography of a Yogi, and so I won't tell that very poignant and beautiful story. It's one of my favorite passages in the Autobiography of a Yogi. And I hope someday here in Sacramento we can perform it as a play. We did this many years ago at Ananda Village, and it was absolutely beautiful. It's so poetically written that I'll just encourage you to reread it in the Autobiography of a Yogi rather than having me read it out loud now. But I did find a little bit more from a different book, a different aspect of Lahiri's meeting with Babaji that I found very sweet, and I wanted to share it with you. Upon meeting Babaji, the great Mahavatar said to Lahiri, "My dear son, you lost sight of me for some incarnations, but my sight was fixed on you. I created this military assignment just to bring you here. Your transfer order was passed just as I wanted it to be. You will have another transfer order to go back to your home after 7 days." Listening to these words, Lahiri was astounded, and he immediately requested his Guru Deva to grant a delay of the transfer order for at least 1 month so he could stay longer with him. Babaji complied by saying, "So be it." And after spending a full blissful month with Babaji, Lahiri Mahasaya's transfer order came for him to report to the plains, just as Babaji said it would. It was very painful for him to leave his divine Guru Deva, and when the day came for him to leave Raniket, he wept at the inevitable separation from Babaji. He fell at his Guru's feet in tears and asked, "When can I see you again?" Babaji replied, "Whenever you desire to see me, you will see me." As Lahiri left Drangiri Mountain, as long as it was possible to look back, he looked back and saw his divine Guru Deva, Babaji. The Himalayan yogi stood as unmoving as the eternally high Himalayas themselves. After a while, Lahiri could no longer see him, as the dense forest obstructed his view. The manifested scene had come to an end. Temporarily grief-stricken, yet strangely consoled, Lahiri came down to Dwarahat and returned to the world to take on the mission his Guru had given him. He continued to serve and settled down as a householder, but Kriya practice became the central point of his lifestyle. He regulated all his activities with the tranquility he generated from his Kriya practice and meditation. Kriya science brought unique and marvelous harmony into his life. The practice helped him balance his outward activities and inner life. Thus he found the way to truly balanced living. The pain and suffering of human life could not confuse nor steal away his equilibrium state of tranquility and peace. Often devotees would complain to Lahiri, saying, "Baba, we are householders full of trouble. We have no time to meditate." And he would answer, "If one really wants it, Then one gets enough time for meditation in one's lifetime, even while living a householder's life. So let us remember, if we really want it, we have time for meditation. And I'll just read a brief passage from Autobiography of a Yogi. By his manifold activities, Lahiri Mahasaya sought to answer the common challenge. After performing one's business and social duties, where is the time for devotional meditation? The harmoniously balanced life of the great householder guru became the silent inspiration of thousands of questioning hearts. Earning only a modest salary, thrifty, unostentatious, accessible to all, the master carried on naturally and happily in the path of worldly life. Though ensconced with the Supreme One, Lahiri Mahasaya showed reverence to everyone, irrespective of their differing merits. A significant feature of Lahiri Mahasaya's life was his gift of Kriya initiation to those of every faith. Not Hindus only, but Muslims and Christians were among his foremost disciples. Monists and dualists, those of all faiths or of no established faith, were impartially received and instructed by the universal Guru. One of his highly advanced chelas was Abdul Khan, a Mohammedan. It shows great courage on the part of Lahiri Mahasaya that, although a high caste Brahmin, he tried his utmost to dissolve the rigid caste bigotry of his time. Those from every walk of life found shelter under the Master's omnipresent wings. Like all God-inspired prophets, Lahiri Mahasaya gave new hope to the outcasts and downtrodden of society. So let us in our lives follow his example and give unconditional respect to everyone of all races and all creeds. And I will change the camera now for Dharmadas.
So I'll just share a few thoughts about Lahiri's role in our lives and how we can tune into his presence. And one, just to sort of segue onto what Nirmala was just reading about Lahiri, he was in a very kind of, you could sort of say, middle class role. You know, he was not a ladder climbing, he wasn't, I mean, in that era, I don't think there was a ladder to climb. I mean, it's for an Indian in the British military service accounting department. I mean, it wasn't like he could, get to middle management and then get to, the CEO level or something. I mean, that was not possible. He did have a very respected job, but it was a relatively humble job. And as Nirmala pointed out earlier, it was a very modest salary. And we could think of this in reference to our own lives, because I think many of us watching here this evening or at other times who watch this in the future can recognize that in their own lives, that we aren't living in mansions, we aren't, living opulent, ostentatious lives. Our job is to play the role given us. Lahiri had been a king. In fact, the reason he was initiated into Kriya in a palace in the Himalayas that Babaji materialized for him was a kind of reference back to that life as King Janaka, as it happened. Master told that to Swamiji, I believe. And at any rate, he had that life as a king, and in this lifetime, he played a very humble role, raising a family in a crowded, narrow street of Benares, Varanasi. And I think we can all just take great comfort from that. And the fact, I found this very interesting. Lahiri was coming into this life as Kali Yuga was busy changing into Dwapara Yuga. It was the middle of or the latter part of the middle of the little shoulder period, the Sandhya period, where Kali Yuga ends. It ended sort of formally in 1700, but not completely until 1900. And Lahiri, coming onto the scene in the 1800s, basically filled that period and had this role. So one of the features of Kali Yuga spirituality was you had to leave the world, leave the formal social world, and just go live in a cave, go live in a monastery, go live in a forest ashram, or create your own. And here was Babaji initiating him in the Himalayas, and Lahiri was very reluctant to leave that, because he was with the master, he was with God's presence in this world, but God had given him a different job to do. And so he did that job, and that job was to live as a householder and show householders, yes, you can practice meditation. Yes, you can realize God. And some of Lahiri's disciples, all the way into this century and well into this century, were advanced Kriyabans, advanced Kriya yogis, practicing Kriya. I mean, I still remember Swami telling us when we lived with him in India, describing this one unknown sadhu, but a disciple of Lahiri, who would ride the train to work. And it was a fairly long ride, but he would go into samadhi at the beginning of the train ride as he's commuting to the office. And when the train stopped for his stop, he would come out of samadhi and he would go and do his job, come home later on, same thing. I mean, it's kind of incomprehensible to us maybe, but that example lives in this world. And his example is for all of us. So hence we sang the chant every morning when I greet the sun. When I'm working or in earned repose, let come victory or low defeat. All of us are going to have those periods when we're working, when in earned repose. All of us will have victories, all of us will have defeats. We have to learn the equanimity that Kriya gives us. Kriya shows us how to create that dynamic equanimity inside, where we're not dependent on what the outside world is doing. We're not dependent on, the craziness of, or the world not being crazy, because the world is kind of crazy, and we notice it more particularly now perhaps than other times. But Lahiri gave us the peace that cannot be extinguished, cannot be modified, mitigated at all by outward circumstance. And it's up to us to cultivate that. It's not forced upon us, obviously, but it is available to us. And that's something that I think we can all take tremendous comfort in. So we'll chant a little more, and then Nirmala's got another reading or two. So let's sing the other Om Namah Shivaya.
Let's do the SRW one.
Okay.
just read a little bit from some of Lahiri Mahasaya's letters. All realization can be attained through the very first Kriya. Only sincere practice is necessary. And he uses this term quite often. The after effect poise of the Kriya, that state of consciousness which is beyond eternal tranquility, and blissful addition of eternal peace are there in the very first Kriya. Go on practicing Kriya. And another letter he answered by saying, nobody does anything. Only the Lord does everything. We individuals are just instruments. Please try to focus your attention on the Lord Guru, strictly according to the instructions given for Kriya. Everything will be good. Again, he says, apparently if one's heart does not cry for the Lord, one has no power to pray. The indestructible, eternal Guru is the example of unconditional love. He is always very near. Still, no one is interested in knowing him. So let us be interested. Let us think of God and keep the Guru close. Whatever is good is what happens. What is good, the individual, the jiva, in other words, does not know. So when good is happening, we don't realize it. If one knows what is good, then he becomes the Lord, Shiva. Without knowing what is good, we frequently think good is bad. Very interesting. Good to think about. Please go on practicing Kriya without thinking about the past and the future. Always think about prana, energy. Even worldly work must be done from the after effect poise of Kriya. Just as this devotee was going into samadhi at the beginning of his commute, getting off the train, doing his job, then going back on the train, back into samadhi, we have to do our work from that consciousness of peace that comes with right practice. Nobody is a sinner, only the mind, that restless breath, is a sinner. The Lord lives in all individuals. Why are you so weak when you are trying to be a yogi? And this is an interesting way of putting it too. Who can take away the shelter under a tree or the water in a river? So what I take that to mean is our true nature is joy. Our true nature is that blissful peace, tranquility that comes to us with Kriya. That is our true nature. Be a yogi. Go back into that true nature. Why are we pretending to be weak? And this is an interesting one too. Keep your strength of mind that says, I am not for anyone and anyone is not for me. One day, all shall definitely have to renounce everything. No one is certain when that day will come. People remain unconcerned about that day because they don't know when it's coming and it seems far in the future. But when that day comes, all of a sudden, then people become nervous. Therefore, fix your attention on that state and be constant in your Kriya practice. Sitting in meditation, some think about many different subjects. Nobody is advised to think about anything else other than the Lord during Kriya practice. So let us remember that when our minds are wandering and we think, oh, I'm not getting anything out of meditation. Do the practice. Think only of God. And in Lahiri's letters, he would often tell people to slowly increase their number of kriyas and Mahamudra, doing it multiple times. Put your heart and soul into your practice. That's the way to live in this world.
So let's sing
Okay. This is a chant with many names of God.
Pull that mic.
Oh.
Jaya Guru Shiva Guru Hari Guru Jagat Guru Hari Sat Guru Sham Hari Guru Advaita Guru Ananda Guru Chit Guru Chitgana Guru Chinmaya Guru Jaya Guru Shiva Guru Hari Guru Jagat Guru Hari Sat Guru Sham Jaya Guru Shiva Guru Hari Guru Ram Jagat Guru Hari Guru Advaita Guru Ananda Guru Chit Guru Chitgana Guru Chinmaya Guru Jaya Guru Shiva
I'll just read a little bit about Lahiri Mahasaya's Maha-Samadhi. And I'm reading a book called Yogi Raj Sri Shamachuran Lahiri, Purana Purusha. Let me show you that again. Beautiful book. So this was the day of his Maha-Samadhi, the 26th of September, 1895. Though Yogi Raj was lying ill in bed like other days when he would impart religious advice to his devotees, either lying or sitting down, on that day also, although extremely unwell, he was explaining a few slokas from the Bhagavad Gita in a low voice. Many devotees were listening amidst grave silence. Everyone was grief-stricken and tearful. The sun was about to set beneath the horizon for that day. The devotees asked with tearful eyes and quivering voices, "In your absence we will become helpless. What will be our alternative then?" Yogi Raj assured them, "This immortal yoga sadhana has been fostered by sages, and the ones who practice this will never become helpless. This prana karma, this kriya yoga, will never become extinct. It was existent always and will always exist. The more a man will advance towards spiritual fulfillment, the more interest towards it will increase, because it is a scientific sadhana, spiritual practice. Eyes half closed, fixed upwardly in transcendence, the devotees were thus addressed. The sublime and immortal yoga, which has been obtained from Gurudeva Babaji and revived, will be practiced in every household in the future. And gradually man will proceed towards the path of salvation. As in the past, the path of salvation will become widened." So, as Dharmadas was saying earlier, Lahiri came into this world right at that moment between Kali Yuga and Dwapara Yuga. This is the spiritual technique of Dwapara Yuga. And in future, it will be practiced in every household. And that path to salvation, bringing in higher ages, that path will be widened. Yogi Raj seated himself in Padmasana. Looking towards his tearful devotees, he remarked, "The time for my departure has arrived. Do not grieve. Though the mortal body disappears, I am always with you." And I'll close with just one last quotation from this book, and then we'll have a closing chant. God has decreed in the Gita that whenever there is decadence and a loss of dharma in this world, it is only then that he himself will mark his advent to resuscitate the waning glory of eternal yoga dharma. Abiding by God's own decree, he effected his re-advent in the guise of Lahiri Mahasaya and again portrayed to erring mankind the royal avenue for attainment of the ambrosial essence. He has showered a divine assurance, and this is in Sanskrit, which I won't try to repeat, but the translation is, "If one is saddled by any impediment, He whose burden it is, it's not our burden, it's God's burden. He himself will release it. The one who perpetually thinks of God, all actions by him are executed by God. So surrendering ourselves to him and thinking of God only, giving everything to God, God works through us and releases our burdens and helps us in everything that we are doing. And we'll close now by singing Pole Star. I have made thee pole star of my life. And let's make our gurus, our Kriya Yoga, that pole star. send out to all the world the blessings of these divine gurus, especially Lahiri Mahasaya tonight as we honor his life. Let's visualize his blessings flooding this world, easing suffering, drawing every soul closer to the light of God, filling their hearts with divine peace and longing for that eternal tranquility. Let's rub our hands together and chanting Om, visualize his blessings flowing through you out into the world. God bless you.
God bless you all. As Lahiri would say, Banat, Banat Banjai, making one day we realize God. Let's keep trying. God bless you. Jai Guru.
Jai Guru.
Thank you to all of you who left comments. We're going to just check those while we still have the connection here.